This drip all on my body, soaking wet the signing. Looking like a walking lick, yeah, you can tell I'm grinding. Rolling back was full of loud, I can't hear nobody.
What's up, fuckers? Episode 22 of the Beer Latte Show. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
Danielle.
And today we have Adrienne MacIain. So I'll do a little icebreaker.
Okay.
Would you rather be visited by a ghost or an alien?
Oh, God, that's such a good question. Because it could go really well or really badly either way, right?
All right, let's hear both sides then.
Yeah. So, I mean, if it's a chill ghost, just like who's just kind of hanging out, like no problem. But if it's like an angry ghost who's got an agenda, that might be.
It's a
not so
she.
good.
The ghost is a she?
Oh, I think so. Right.
Well, she's definitely mean then.
It's definitely
Right.
a she.
Yeah.
She already has a vendetta against you.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. That sounds like a bad plan. But then also, if it's an alien, like I don't know what planet they're from. I don't know what's going on with them. They might be one of the reptilian aliens.
Oh,
Who's like
yeah, I've heard about that.
who's got like serious agendas. Or it could be the Andromedans, or like some nice like Nordic looking aliens who just want to teach me how to save the world. So it really depends. I want to meet a supernatural creature that has good intent is all I really want.
Well, that's fair. Because who wants to be like scared and shit, right?
I'm not into that, like I can scare myself just by, living my life.
Yeah, just
No
thoughts.
problem.
I don't even watch scary
I'm
movies.
just going to throw this out there. Either it's a ghost or an alien, even if it's Nordic or reptilian, I'm scared no matter what.
I hear you.
Initially.
What about if they brought like a six-pack of beer or something?
I'm still scared. Like, that would be really weird. Like, it'd be E.T., in the refrigerator, drinking his little beer.
Yeah.
They're like, I come in peace. You want a drink? I'm like, fuck it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think either way, like you're going to be a little thrown off at first, even if they're super chill or super nice, you're going to be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy for me to say it's no big deal until you see me running from one, and I don't run.
Exactly.
I
There's a lot of
certainly don't
uncertainty in either situation.
I don't know. I'm scared either way. I'm just running either way.
Probably
Got to build the trust.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably much rather see an alien though, because at least like I know they're there, so I can like run. And much if you run from the ghost and he just appears or she appears back in front of you, just fucking with you the whole time.
Exactly.
How do you know an alien wouldn't be able to do such a thing?
I don't.
Yeah.
If he did,
There's, again,
you'd probably just get like punched in the face.
With their alien hands?
No, with my
I'd say
hands.
you have a better. Oh,
Yeah,
It's
you
easy
could,
to catch these hands.
yeah, you could punch an alien. You can't punch a ghost. You can try.
oh,
Theoretically,
I guess.
I've never seen either, so I don't know.
I have never seen either. I did have a run-in with a ghost, though.
Like you went jogging together.
No, there was no actual running involved.
Oh, thank
sorry,
God.
bad choice of words. Okay, so
I know.
my stepfather died when I was 16. And it was that's okay. I'm over it. It's been a while. He was a great guy though. And
I don't know how old you are. Could have been, recent.
Exactly. It's been a while.
Okay.
So it was the night before the funeral, and I was in bed with my two sisters. We all came out to, for the funeral. So we were all kind of sharing a bed. And we heard footsteps above us in the kitchen. And first I heard this, it was like the sound of the coffee maker. Do you know how like people have coffee makers that they, program to go off at a certain hour?
Yeah,
right?
like good old Mr.
And
Coffee.
exactly. So it's like super early in the morning. And Michael, my stepdad, he worked at Boeing. And so he had to get up super early in the morning to get to Payne Field on time for flight tests. And so it was like, super early in the morning before it's even light out. And I hear the coffee maker go off. And I was like, oh, that's so sad that my mom hasn't even like unplugged the coffee maker. She didn't even think of that. And then we hear these footsteps, and my stepdad had really specific footsteps because he had an injury. And so one of his feet dragged. And so we're all looking at each other like, you hear this, right? And so we heard, the one foot and then the drag, the one foot and then the drag. And we're like, we know who that is. That is Michael. Like there is no question in our minds. And so then we were like, should we go upstairs? Like, how do we not? But then how do we, right? So, we got up our courage and went upstairs. And there was no coffee maker anywhere. Like it had been put away in the back of the cupboard, unplugged, put away. No Michael either, but we were like, that was super creepy. So that's my one ghostly encounter.
I am so happy you said you went up there because, I would never have done that.
Right? It's only because I had my sisters with me and that made me brave.
But then how ironic was it that your mother had unplugged the entire thing? Had you ever talked to her about it? Maybe she had the same experience.
And then in the morning, we were like, hey, Mom, we had this weird experience. And she was just like, yeah, it's my fault. I can't let him go yet. And we were like, okay, I think we're done with this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I would have kept pressing.
Just good luck with that.
You're like, you probably should because he's here.
Yeah. Yeah. It took her a really long time to, they were like newlyweds. They were still like only 2 years into their marriage, which is super, super sad.
Oh, wow.
And
that's when it's still, that's when it's like still fun and stuff.
Exactly. Definitely still fun. So
right, we're closing in at 9. I'm like, woo.
He's completely lying to you. Right, Steve?
Yes, honey.
Yes, dear. Yeah. But it was a tough one. Yeah.
So what I read was that you're a story midwife. Please tell me about that.
Yeah. So what I do is I help other people find kind of their core stories and then figure out how to tell them. What's the right audience to tell them to, and what's the right genre, and basically how to shape the story, and what are the important plot points, what's the beginning, the middle, the end, what's the crisis, what's the resolution, all that stuff. I just kind of help people shape the story and deliver it.
I love that. I'm the
That's
complete opposite of that.
Yeah, because I love storytelling and I love stories. And I think that, a story locked inside of us kind of like colors everything we do, whether we realize it or not. But when we get that story outside of us, it can kind of be a beacon of hope and inspiration for other people.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely tells your story.
Exactly.
So you're helping like motivational speakers or everyday walk of life people?
Man, I help all kinds of people. I have helped motivational speakers. I've also helped lots of entrepreneurs who just need to know, like, what's the about us? What's my story, right? What's my elevator pitch?
Like the mission of like the company type deal?
Exactly, that kind of thing. Yeah. I've helped a lot of writers, and I've also just helped a lot of people who wanted to do public speaking and didn't really know where to start. People who just wanted to go to storytelling circles and things like the Moth and just weren't quite sure where to start. So I help lots of people in lots of ways.
How did you know that was your calling, or did it just come around in time?
It took me a while. Yeah, it took me a while to come around to it. I was an executive assistant for a long time. And I realized after a while that like what I really loved about the job was just helping the CEO get his message out there. And so that was the part of the job that I loved, and everything else I couldn't stand.
Like him in general, probably, right?
No, he was great. He was great.
Come on.
But
he's not here.
just
Tell the truth.
I'm serious. He was wonderful. I had someone after that, not so wonderful, but we won't talk about her. So
that'd be the ghost.
Yeah. Yep. Angry ghost. So, but it was really, all the little detail oriented work of keeping track of his schedule and the travel and all that stuff was just like not my bag.
Yeah, sounds shitty.
What I really wanted to do was just help him, like, be a sounding board for him and help him clarify his ideas and get his message out to the world. And that was the part of it that I was really good at. And so when I finally lost my second job as an executive assistant, they kind of had this conversation with me where they were like, what do you really want to do? And I was like, I mean, I guess I could do like HR and they were like, no, what do you really want to do? And I was like, I mean, I guess I'm an author. They're like, yeah, you're a writer. Like, that's what you should be doing. And you should be helping people to do that. And I was like, what? And yeah, so this was kind of like a weird conversation to have when you're getting fired. But
you're like, so this is like goodbye or
like this exit interview.
Exactly. But I kept thinking about what they said, and I kept feeling like, yeah, that is actually what I'm really good at. And that probably is what I should be doing. But at first I was really scared, and that sounded too weird and too out there to like make into a career, right? And so I did content writing at first, and that was where I started to sort of break into it, was by helping entrepreneurs like with their content. And then I started to realize that what I really was gravitating toward was their about page. That was the part of it that I really enjoyed, was telling their story, getting their mission clear and getting their message out there. And so I started focusing on that. And then meanwhile, I started a podcast where I started telling my own stories first. And then I realized, I'm going to run out of stories at some point, and a lot of people have stories. And so I started trying, just asking people about their story. But then I realized, it was so canned. You know what I mean? It was like the story that they always tell, and I could tell. And so then I started asking people, what's the story you're not telling? And that turned out to be the hook. That was where I could really get underneath and get to that story that they were like, oh, that one. And it's like whenever I say that, I say, well, what's the story you're not telling? And they kind of get this look on their face. And then I'm like, no, that. Whatever that was, that's it. That story that you don't want to tell right now, that's the story you're about to tell. And they're like, oh, shit.
That could be so sticky, though. Like, what if you're talking to Jeffrey Dahmer and he hadn't been discovered yet?
Exactly.
How do you market that?
Yeah, exactly. So far, so good. Yeah. So sometimes they're funny, and sometimes they're weird, and sometimes they're sad. But the beautiful thing is that they're all done now. And so you can kind of have a little perspective on them. And everyone I talk to has kind of come through something, and then they're on the other side of it now. And so that's kind of the beauty of it.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
It
I like how
fun.
you can pull that out of a person. Something I would never be able to do.
I have a gift for it. We all have our gifts. Yes.
We do?
Believe it or not, yes. Some people are very out of touch with them, but they're in there.
And today we have part 2 of 3 for Jersey Cyclone Brewing. We have 4 beers again from them. First up is what they're calling Life in the Clouds, which is a malted wheat pilsner at 5%.
It smells really good.
It is a different smell compared to any
light.
beer we've had before. It's like a light smell, light in color.
Yeah.
We're so used to having all the fruity flavors, and this one's, I don't know, I guess more like a pilsner. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's definitely good. I could definitely be drinking this pretty regularly.
Well, Danielle, on a scale of 1 to 10, hops, where are you putting it?
I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Nick, where you at?
I'm at 6.9.
Okay. And I don't think we ever had a wheat pilsner before, a German type pilsner. But trying to compare it to other pilsners, it's not exactly my favorite, but I think somewhere around like a 6.4. And then next up, we have what they're calling New World Pilsner, which is 5.3%.
That's pretty good.
For a pilsner, it's super fruity smelling.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, when I first smelt it, my first thought was, oh, we have an IPA coming up next. And no, it's a pilsner, but
Certainly doesn't taste like a pilsner. It tastes way better.
yeah.
Yeah, it's tasty.
A lot of fruit flavors going on in there. They're saying it's a dry hopped, or it is dry hopped with Australian Ella hops.
Ella.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crisp.
Super like grapefruit tasting.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think crushable. What's the percentage?
It is 5.3%.
Definitely could crush these.
So it's not going to hurt you too fast. And Danielle, what do you think on a scale of 1 to 10 hops for a super fruity pilsner? What are you thinking?
I would say 8.5.
Wow, you like this pilsner a lot.
Yeah, because it has some taste.
It's light but super, super flavorful for you.
Yeah, tasty.
Okay, Nick, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm at a 7.9. Definitely higher on the Pilsner side.
Yeah, this is, as a pilsner, by far the best one I've ever had.
Yeah.
I guess because I'm used to they're so often like just light tasting, like a light beer. But this one is like super flavorful. So I'm going to go like an 8.1. Best Pilsner, hands down, thus far.
Yeah.
Following that one, we have Red Skies at Night, which is a farmhouse ale. 6.5%. It is super red in color.
Yeah, it has a pretty intense copper tone to it. Kind of like a red night sky.
I smell banana.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what a farmhouse ale actually entails.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I've never heard of it. You know, it definitely has a little bit of a lemon flavor to it. I'm super on the fence about this one. I'm not sure which way I want to go with it.
That's because it's not like anything we've tasted.
Yeah, every sip I take, I'm like, how can I compare this? And because like, it's good. It's very crisp, and it's like, it's good to me. I could see myself drinking this. I just don't know any other brand of this that I could drink, because I don't think I've had another one like this.
With that being said, Danielle, how do you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10 hops for a wheat beer and or farmhouse ale?
Okay, so we have nothing to compare it to, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to make up my own. I'm thinking I'll go 7.
Okay. All right. And Nick, what are you thinking?
I'm at a 7.5.
All right.
That's
very fair.
Yeah.
Being on the fence, very unsure where to put this. I'm going to do like a 6.3.
Okay.
And then last, but certainly not least, we have Eye of the Storm, an IPA, which is also 6.5%.
I think this is my favorite IPA so far. I guess I am a fan of IPA now.
That is crazy fruity smelling.
Yeah.
And it's so smooth.
That's fucking good.
It's good.
That's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Goes down easy. It's a little hazier in color, but it's good.
It's very tropical.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a tropical storm on this can. Not too sure. Some type of hurricane going on there.
Looks like
That's the eye of the... What does it say?
No,
Well, that is the eye of the storm, but I don't know what type of storm. Like a tropical storm because it's super tropical tasting.
maybe that's Sandy.
It is Jersey Cyclone, so...
Yeah, that could
It's
be...
probably Sandy.
You know, that could
Or
be...
Irene.
That could be, Superstorm Sandy. I'm not sure where they got the picture from. Pretty badass looking can, though.
Yeah, I
That's
like
pretty
it.
Cool. I like the art.
Like the first time we look at it, kind of just looks trippy, and then you're like, oh no, that's a hurricane or a tropical storm on there.
That is the
Actually, all their
actual-
beers have really nice cans.
Yeah, they got
a
some
lot of artwork going
decent
on.
labels going on here.
Yeah.
But this one's good.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
It is certainly the favorite out of the bunch today. Mm-hmm. That's slightly biased as a IPA fan, though. Regardless, Danielle, what are you thinking? 1 to 10 hop scale IPAs.
IPA going 8.9.
That's
Wow.
Yeah, because I like both of the aspects of it. Smooth, and it's also got a really good taste.
And Nick, what are you thinking on your 1 to 10 hop scale IPAs?
8.0, 8 flat.
Good thing you put that 0.0 there.
Gotta keep the decimal system going. You can't just get rid of it.
And for me, I'm going to land somewhere around a 7.7. I'm a fan. That is definitely, higher up there on the IPAs for me. And that is Jersey Cyclone Brewing. You can find them at jerseycyclone.com or Jersey Cyclone Brewing on Instagram.
So you said you've been to Africa. Tell
That
me
I
about
have.
these woo-woo experiences you were referring to.
Yeah, so I did write a book about this. So any of the things that I'm talking about today, you can learn a lot more about by getting the book. It's called Melting Ivory. And you can
Yes.
find it on Amazon. And so, yeah, I went to Africa as a Fulbrighter, and I thought that I was going to be studying basically French-speaking theater. And that is not what happened. I ended up living with this family. The family kind of was the mainstay of a theater troupe, sort of like the center of the troupe. And I ended up kind of trying to blend into their family, right? Which was impossible, of course. But I really wanted to immerse myself, in this experience. And so I, lived with them, ate what they ate. I did the chores with them. I really tried to live life as one of them. And I quickly discovered that, wow, it was a lot harder I expected it to be. As a woman in that situation, in a very patriarchal society, I lost a lot of the rights that I had sort of come to count on and expect. And it was a really eye-opening experience for me in a lot of ways. But one of the experiences I had that I still have a hard time explaining or understanding, first of all, they believe very, very strongly in witchcraft. Witchcraft to them is very much a real thing. It's not like a woo-woo, like supernatural thing. It's no, there are witches and they cast spells and they will fuck you up.
Right.
And I will say
That's a good enough story right there.
Yeah, exactly. So poisoning is a very popular thing among the witches. And so you really can get killed by a witch in Africa. That happens a lot.
What do they look like?
They're just ordinary people.
It's the
they don't
average person.
Oh,
exactly.
I'm
It's
thinking like I got such a picture painted in my fucking head. It's like so much cooler, but whatever.
I'm sure it is. They do, however, have the féticheur, which is more like what you would call a witch doctor or a shaman, right? And so the féticheur, they're definitely like a little more stereotypically weird, right? They they dress in the bright colors and they're a little bit more flamboyant and kind of out there. But these are the people who will sell you protection from witches, okay? So you got the witches who you don't really know who they are, but you kind of suspect. There's always like, we know, like we know it's so and so. Like she's kind of a jealous bitch, right? So
all witches are jealous. Okay, I'm taking notes. Go ahead.
Just like shrinking heads. Like clearly it's her.
Yeah, jealousy is kind of the main reason for witchcraft, from what I understood. Jealousy and basically just like trying to take your shit, trying to get your inheritance, trying to take over your estate, trying to take your wife, that kind of thing. And so, I heard a lot of stories when I was there, but I did not think that it would get turned against me because I was naive like that. And then I woke up one morning with what I can only describe as stigmata. I had these 2 weeping, pussy wounds on the palms of my hands.
Oh my God.
And I'm looking at these and going, what causes that? Where
On both of my hands.
Yeah, on both my hands. And I kept having these weird dreams that someone was putting thorns into my palms. And finally put it together that no, I wasn't actually having weird dreams. Someone was putting poison in my palms with these thorns. I think. I mean, it's all kind of a daze. But I got really, really sick. And so then the guy that I was seeing, who I wasn't supposed to be seeing, long, complicated story, read the book, went to his féticheur and asked for protection for me. And because I was so sick and I couldn't travel, he had to take some items of my clothing and my hair. And so he took those items to this féticheur, and it took him a while to get there because, it's Africa and everything's kind of long distances and slow buses, right? And so then one morning, I just woke up and felt fine. It was like nothing had happened. Everything was good. And I looked at my hands and it was completely gone. It was like, unblemished. No scar, no scab, nothing. Like it had never happened. And I started to question my sanity at this point, right? I'm like, this is not possible. This could not happen. And yet I have no explanation for you. When he came back, he told me that was the very morning that they had done the protection spell. So there you go. The other crazy thing that happened is that when I visited his village, so I had heard this story because his cousin had brought this girl home with him, this German girl named Miriam. And I knew that things hadn't gone well, but I found out while I was there that she actually was poisoned. Yeah, she was poisoned and they had to pump her stomach. And so when I heard that, I kind of lost my appetite and we left pretty quick.
Oh my God.
Because apparently he saw some women like crushing up some leaves that were a little suspicious. And so he was like, yeah, we're out of here. I was like, okay, I'm not going to argue. So we left.
What would have been the reason for anybody? Why would somebody have wanted to do something to you? You were new.
Yeah, it was to hurt him, basically.
Oh, okay.
Like I was not seen as a full human because I was female and because I was white. And so I was more like a status symbol to them that he had brought home to like flaunt in their faces, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's like driving up a Ferrari, you know? I guess I'm the Ferrari in this
Wow.
analogy.
She thinks highly of herself. So, you know. And that's not a bad thing.
Sorry. But yeah, and so they basically wanted to crash the Ferrari.
Wow. And so do you think that somebody was physically putting thorns in your hands, or do you feel like it was just like all like
a voodoo doll
like
type
a voodoo
shit?
doll of some sort? Or
Good question. Totally possible. No idea. I got nothing. You know, I tried to ask questions and nobody was talking. So,
You should send a couple copies of your book back to the village. And
Oh my gosh,
if they have the voodoo doll, then you're like, oh shit, you wake up here and be like, fuck, they read it.
right. I go back and forth on this. Like, will I, because they don't speak much English over there. It's all French. So I go back and forth of like, do I want to translate this into French or don't I? Maybe best to not.
I would say not to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with not.
Yeah, there's a doll of you just hanging out over there, which is
I
weird
know.
in
I mean,
itself.
like, but are you like that much of a heavy sleeper that, you know, you wouldn't catch somebody?
Well, I am. And here's the funny thing. So if you've ever had to take anti-malaria medication, it really messes with you. And it especially messes with your sleep cycle. And so what happens is there's one night where, at least with the stuff that I took, which is you take it once a week. Okay. The night that you take it, you basically can't sleep all night. You're just like wide awake, wired. And then you sleep for like the entire next day and night.
Oh, wow.
And you have these weird, vivid, like disturbing dreams. And so I think they just got the sense of my pattern, that there was one day where they could count on like that I was just going to be like out, like down for the count. And I was always complaining about these weird, vivid dreams that I would have. And so it would be really easy to explain away anything weird that happened to me during that time of like, oh, you must have just been having one of those weird, mefloquine dreams.
Jesus.
I call them mefloquine mares. Yeah. And I say this with like so flip, but like at the time it was like, this is my freaking life. Like, this is insane. But there was a lot of weird stuff going on at that time. So
How fast did you leave after your palms were healed?
I didn't leave at all. Because again, there was so much weird stuff happening. So this was the most stable country in the region at the time, Ivory Coast. And while I was there was a coup d'etat. And so the power toppled while I was there, and the military took over. And so we were in kind of a martial law sort of state for a while there. I got shot at. That's a whole other story.
Shit.
What's that?
I said shit.
Yeah. And then it turned into a civil war. And so I left the country, but I was planning to leave the country at that point anyway. I just left a little sooner and under less happy circumstances than I really wanted to. Also got kicked out of the house because they found out I was seeing the boy I wasn't supposed to be seeing.
Just a badass over there.
Good times. Yeah, if you read the book,
wanted
it's
to
a
blend
whole
in,
crazy.
but clearly,
Man, I
stuck
failed
it.
on so many levels, like so many levels. The other thing was I became kind of a pseudo celebrity because I was dancing on TV a lot.
When you say
know,
dancing,
well, so funny you should say that, because the dance that made me famous is like this booty shaking dance called the mapuka.
Oh.
And so it was really my butt that became famous. Let's be clear. Yeah. So it's like I know it's absurd. It's so absurd. My life is
Nick
absolutely
is looking
absurd.
it up.
I'm serious. If you look up my name on YouTube, you can find the video. It is out there. So, but here's the thing, because they only have one channel, right? For the entire country. They have one channel. So if you're on TV, everybody knows who you are. And so if you're like the only white girl on TV, everybody really knows who you are. And so I had zero privacy. Everywhere I went, people knew who I was and they wanted to talk to me because I had been like in their living room from their perspective. And so I had random strangers coming up to me and like giving me advice about this love life that I knew nothing about because it was in the tabloids. It was a really surreal time.
So one channel, they didn't even have, UHF or anything like
No, they got one channel.
What,
They
was
might
there
have
even
more now, but-
was there even a dial on the TVs?
I don't know.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
I'm like, one
pretty
channel.
funny, right?
That's terrible.
Yeah, they got one channel. Yep.
Antiquated.
Yeah.
But you were famous.
And I
That's
had-
cool.
I was, but it was a double-edged sword. Like I said, I had no privacy, so there's that. And also, because I had performed in front of the president on the TV a few, weeks before the coup, some people apparently found me to be a traitor.
Oh.
So that was kind of problematic for me because I didn't know that, and I was dumb and naive and had never been in a coup before. And so
Right, because they're so common.
right. So I'll tell you this little anecdote from the book. So I was sneaking out to go see the boy that I wasn't supposed to be seeing. You see a common theme here. And so I'm walking and there's like nobody out in the street because there's a couvre-feu, which is where we get the word curfew. But basically it's a like stay-at-home order. But I was dumb. So I'm out walking on the street and then I see this flatbed truck full of military dudes come around the corner. And they've all got, it was like a bad movie, right? They've got their shirts stripped off and they've got the ammo, like Miss America badges across their chest. And they've got these AK-47s and they're just shooting them into the air because they're excited because they just took over the country, right? And it doesn't seem super dangerous. It just seems really weird. I'm looking at it like, wow, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. And I just had like this really strong cognitive dissonance. So it felt like I wasn't even like there. You know what I mean? Like I was watching the scene from outside of myself.
Right.
And then somebody yelled Adjua, which was my African name. And I was like, oh, they know who I am. Yay, they're fans. And then they all turned their guns toward me, kind of like all at the same time. And again, it was this very surreal moment where I was like, do I really believe what I am seeing right now? Is this really what's happening right now? And then somebody grabbed me from behind and put me down on the ground and got on top of me. And that was the point where it kind of became real that like bad things are happening to me right now. Cause like I had no context for getting shot at, but like getting sexually assaulted, yeah, I know what that's like. So I was like, oh shit, what's about to happen here? And then I realized, no, this total stranger is not raping me. He is saving my life. He has used his body as a human shield. And as they're passing, they're shooting at us, but I only got a little bit of shrapnel in my leg. I did not get shot. And they drove on. And then this guy got up and disappeared. And I still, again, to this day, have no real explanation. Like, total stranger, saved my life, disappeared. Can't tell you why.
Wow. Do you think he was
Yeah.
an angel?
I don't know what he was. I don't know what he
Wow.
was.
What did your gut tell you?
I go back and forth on this one because on the one hand, like, where did he go?
Right.
But on the other hand, he really smelled human.
he smelled.
He smelled very pungently human. And, it was not outside of the realm of what I had experienced in Africa for a total stranger to just do something like that. You know what I mean? they're so extreme there. It's like these people of just such extremes where they have this amazing sense of hospitality, where they will just do anything, for a guest. And then they will just turn on you for like what seems like no reason. So, yeah, I mean, there's good people and bad people everywhere you go. And to the extremes is all I'll say about that.
So then you just got up and walked back?
Well, so then my boyfriend was actually there. He had seen this whole thing, and that was part of the upset for me was like, oh my God, he's going to see me like getting raped and killed. How traumatizing for him, right? But he was too far away to do anything about it. He was just like coming towards me. So then I kind of run to him, and we had that moment where he hugs me, and we're both kind of crying, and he's like, "Are you crazy? Like, what are you doing out here?" And I was like, "Well, you said to meet you at your house at 9:00." And he's looking at me like, "What the fuck?" And I said, "Yeah, where I come from, when you say 9:00, you mean 9:00." So I was going to be on time. He's like, "You're insane." And he's like, "Do you not realize that you're like the enemy now?" I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You danced for the president that they just ousted." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I probably should have thought of that."
How would you have known?
Yeah, exactly.
Like how on earth? And how could they even hold that against you? I don't even.
Right? Yeah, it was a very weird time.
That's so non-third world.
How long are you there for?
I was there for a year.
Oh,
and then I
that's too long.
went back. Yeah, it was a long time. And then I went back for about 3 months.
Same
for a
place?
while after that. No, I went to Burkina Faso the second time,
Oh, okay.
which is I had visited there during my time there, but hadn't spent that much time there, and I wanted to go back and explore it a little bit more.
So what?
And I brought my mom the second time.
What draws you to Africa?
Well, so when I was living in France, just to go back a little bit, in college, I experienced a lot of racism. And I guess I was just really disappointed because I had thought that French people were like better than us in some ways. Like I put them on this, I put them on this cultural pedestal, that they're like so much better than we are. But turns out there's a lot of racism there, and really nasty racism too. And the family that I was living with was super racist. And they would make these nasty, African jokes at the table and stuff like that. And like my host mom, one night, I had a friend who was of Moroccan origin, not, from Morocco, but his family was from Morocco. And he gave me the 3 cheek kisses like you always do when you say goodbye to somebody. And I came upstairs and my host mom was just like furious with me. I was like, "What is going on?" And she said, "How could you let a man like that kiss you?" I was like, "A man like what? What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, you know what I mean. Those Arabs, they have hot blood."
Blood?
I was like, "What does that fucking mean?" You're crazy.
Don't we all?
So, yeah, that experience really made me want to go somewhere where they were just as kind of pissed off about French racism as I was. And French-speaking West Africa seemed like the best choice.
Interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
But you go in there like Sandy from Greece and you come right back out like Rizzo.
Boy. Yeah. I came out. Oh, yeah. I came out sideways, man. Yeah. And but the bulk of the book is actually about the relationship that developed after that with this guy because we were really trauma bonded after that. And that relationship was far more dangerous than anything that I had experienced thus far, and was the hardest thing to get out of.
You still
That's what I'll
talk
say
to him?
about that. Oh God, no.
Oh.
No.
Did you when you left?
What do you mean?
I mean, when you left, had you broken up or were you still
Oh no,
speaking
we got
terms?
married.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came back to the United States. We got married, and I really dug in.
Oh,
It's one of those things where you're young, and everybody tells you like this is a bad idea, and so you're like, screw you, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because you told me it's a bad idea.
Right.
Turns out it was a bad idea.
Yeah, okay.
Like a really, really bad idea.
Well, that stinks.
Yeah. But I learned a lot of important lessons from that experience.
She goes big when she takes a souvenir.
I do.
We take little mugs. She takes humans.
Yeah. Can't recommend. Yeah, cross-cultural relationships are really difficult, first of all. The culture that they have there is very, like I said, very patriarchal. Abuse is really normalized over there. For example, I saw his best friend Paulin hit his wife with a brick,
Oh my god.
and everyone was just totally cool with it.
Well, it's not much
I
different
was
than me and
like,
my wife.
Yeah, right.
It was a 2x4, but she got the point.
but she's okay now. Well, you have to do that to show her that you still love her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
bam,
You
bam.
understand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there's a lot of cultural programming there to get past and get through, and I underestimated, I think, how difficult that would be for him, especially in difficult circumstances. When he's stressed out and has a hard time getting a job and blah blah blah. But he also just kind of went nuts, and it was really sad. So
That is really sad.
yeah, it was a big bummer for everybody involved, but I'm on the other side of it, and I'm pretty awesome now. So there you go. I figure everything that happens for you, not to you.
So
That's a good way to look at it.
that being in mind, what's the first thing that comes since you've been everywhere? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about God?
So for me, God is that little voice of like intuition inside of you. Because I really believe that everything is connected, everything is one. And in order to have this experience of life, we had to, for ourselves, create these polarities, right? Light, dark, good, evil, male, female, all these things, they're just sort of illusions that we have to have in order to experience experiences. Wow, I'm not explaining this very well.
We get it. You got to experience experiences.
Yeah, but the singularity is what God is, which is creation and everything, right? And we all are part of that. So we all are God together as a collective. And so I think everybody has that connection, that direct connection to creation energy, if they just can tune out the noise and tap into it.
Yep. I totally agree.
That's what I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's interesting.
And that was very perfectly explained, actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
I was a little thrown off when you said there's only 2 genders. That's so weird. I'm just kidding.
But that's the whole point. Is like we made this stuff up. So, and then we complicate it because that's what we like to do as humans. We like to create stories, right?
Yeah.
That's what makes things interesting.
A lot of stories going on in 2020.
Oh boy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yeah. How did we end up in this timeline? Like what?
Like,
Where
how
did
did
we
we
jump the track?
collectively, right?
Yeah.
What idiots? Something happened.
Something. Yeah.
Must have
Something
been
went
Donald
very
Trump.
sideways. Yeah. So here's another weird experience that I had.
Okay.
You know how sometimes you just get like a feeling, like a strong, like intuitive feeling about something.
Yes.
The day of the election, like everyone around me is super happy, excited. They're like, oh, she's got it in the bag. We're going to have our first woman president. They're just like psyched. And the whole day, I couldn't eat. I was like shaking. I just had this like dark cloud over me that would not go away. And I was like, I don't know why, but I just feel like something really, really bad is about to happen. And everyone's like, no, it's going to be great. And then the next day they're like, oh my God, how did you know? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh no,
I
you were
didn't
one of
know
those weirdos that were
anything."
crying.
I know, like, I don't want to be Cassandra. That's not a good gig. Yeah. So there you go. I just knew somehow, intuitively, that the bad was about to go down.
And look where you bring us. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I think we're going to be one world soon.
I hope so. I'm doing my part to create a new system. So, we all do what we can.
A new system. What do you mean?
Yeah, I think when you So I feel that what you resist persists and that what you focus on becomes reality.
Oh, yeah.
And so the more you focus your energy on what you do want and not what you don't want, the better things become. So the more time we spend talking about all the things that we hate and that we want to fix and we want to like, this is bad and this is terrible and like righteous anger and all of that stuff, I feel like we just perpetuate what already is. And so I do my best. I certainly get caught up in that sometimes, but when I catch myself doing that, I just try to refocus on what can I do right now to make the world a little bit better. And so my big project right now with my husband is that we are trying to support people who are micro farming, people who are trying to grow food like in their houses or in their yards, so that we just have a much more secure food supply in the future and don't have such a kind of centralized like agricultural system. Because I think in the quarantine, a lot of people have found that it's much harder to get food than you like to think.
Yeah.
And I want people to be eating, real healthy, nutritious food too, not a bunch of canned junk. So that's my big mission right now.
So how do you go about doing that? Do you provide seed? What do you do?
Well, so right now we're basically just networking. We're just getting to know people who are already doing this and finding out what they need, and just trying to figure out how we can be of help and of service to them. And the biggest thing they seem to be missing is a marketplace. So what we're trying to do is create an online marketplace for micro farmers and education, so that they can learn more about how to do it and just get the network and the resources without going out of their houses right now.
I love that. You have no idea how I know you like that too, Steve.
I like food.
No,
Food is so important, you guys.
We supported farms before.
Yeah.
And we do
Yeah.
this. We do this year too. I
We
really
always try
love
to
that.
buy from somebody locally or
Yeah.
some small farm or whatever like that. It's always
Organic.
fresher and better anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, this is obviously this is a very selfish thing for me too. Like I want to know all these people so that I can like buy their goods,
Right.
like have delicious food delivered to my door straight from their home. So, that's the ultimate goal. But right now, like I said, we're just trying to find out what they need and help them out as much as we can,
Sign me up. I'll help. I love that.
Excellent.
Love it. I actually wrote to our mayor, the mayor of the town that we lived in prior, about this parcel of land one time to see if we can get like a community co-op going, and he had no interest in it. I was like kind of bummed.
That's a bummer.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, whatever.
We're calling it the True Food Movement. What do you think?
True, TRUE.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
like-
love it.
Yeah. True food.
I'm in. We're in.
Excellent. I got 2 more comrades in the revolution.
Absolutely. I'll post whatever you want.
So speaking
Fantastic.
of all this like healthy food, this could tell me a
Yeah.
lot about you. What's your favorite candy bar?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so anything that's like chocolate and peanut butter, I'm pretty much in.
Oh yeah.
But I really like dark chocolate. So like dark chocolate peanut butter cups is pretty much ideal for me, especially if it has sea salt on the top. Then I'm like, oh God, yes.
You're going for like the organic version of it then.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of cracked sea salt on it. Okay.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
we just had that, except for it had CBD in it from the
Oh
Nature
God, that
Food
sounds
Store.
good.
It wasn't as amazing as it sounds. I don't know
Okay,
what the
bummer.
ratio was. It was not.
Yeah.
It was not,
Not,
the most.
not
amazing.
impressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I even split it with these two. It was like last weekend.
It definitely tells me a lot about you. I don't know what,
Yeah,
but it tells me
yeah.
a lot about you.
Oh yeah. What does it say?
No, that's where I said I don't know what.
Oh,
Just a lot, like
that's
a whole
because
lot.
that's because you're thinking of the ratio of peanut butter wouldn't be right, or
I'm just thinking about different junk food. Sounds so fucking good.
Yeah.
She went with organic, cracked sea salt, perfect ratio of dark chocolate to peanut butter, and
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the good stuff.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you rather see the future or change the past?
I wouldn't change the past because I feel like that would have such far-reaching repercussions, and you couldn't possibly know what all of those are. You would probably screw things up much worse by trying to change the past. So I take a you don't get a do-over, you just get to do better kind of view of things. So I think I'd like to glimpse the future, but again, then I would be Cassandra. So
Yeah.
maybe neither. Because
Well,
nobody's going to believe me
You
anyway.
missed it. That wasn't an option.
Yeah, okay. I'll
Well,
see the future,
you're
but it's
referring
going to
to
be hard.
the effect that you would be able to see the future but not be able to change it. But if you
Right.
could change it,
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like if I saw the future and then could do something in the present, to perhaps make the future better, like that's ideal right there.
okay, there you go. I like that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's it. Just fair.
What would you want to do, Steve?
I see no reason to change the past.
No.
No, I already been through it. What the fuck's the difference now?
Exactly.
It makes no difference. It makes me who I am now, so
Mhm.
I'm okay with me.
What about the future?
I mean, I don't know. Might as well change some. But what if it's not bad?
Well, let's hope it's not bad.
Okay, so I just make it better.
What if
Well,
it's
fuck
great?
it. Who doesn't want to make it better? Even if it's amazing, why
Exactly.
not make it even more amazing?
Oh,
Exactly. Like that's kind of what we're trying to do anyway, right? So
Right. You trying to fuck things up over there, Danielle? Like,
No, I'm just asking.
I'm going to change the future and screw you, screw you, screw you. You're
well, I mean,
cool.
even going in the past, you're going to change the future. So
Yeah, I'm still a little bit held up on that. Like, what was the...
man,
Like, why the
I'm
fucking
still held up on
hands?
that, and it was 20 years ago. So
yeah, that's got to be that can never leave you.
That's like an asshole move.
yeah,
Fucking hands. Like
Well, I mean, you do have to use them all the time. So
I know. It's
Exactly.
like, it's a dick move. Like, just one...
exactly. It hurts like constantly. When you shake someone's hand, you wince, and then they look at you like, "What?" That's rude.
I wouldn't fucking touch your hand. He said it was pussing.
Yeah,
What's
it
wrong
was
with those
nasty.
people?
True.
Seriously, it was nasty.
Why they even try to shake
I
your
just
hand?
tried to hide it. Yeah, I would just try to
Fucking
hide it.
spread
I'd put,
corona
like-
20 years ago.
But she said it was like stigmata, so that makes me kind of worry about
I
what
skipped that.
stigmata actually is.
No, I skipped that word 'cause I don't know what it is.
No, it's when people, out of the blue get like where Christ was, nailed to the cross. They would get like,
It's an odd word for that, but okay.
I don't know the word for it.
Except that I'm pretty sure it was through the wrists, right?
Right?
But
why is
yeah.
it in the hands?
But
You
then it
always
shows
see
up in the
hands.
palms. So yeah, there's some unanswered questions there too.
Yeah, and then also, didn't I see some stigmata that some people had like stigmata in the forehead as well? Like, was he nailed in the head?
He had a crown of thorns, I think.
Yeah, but
If they nailed him in
lot
the
of
head, he wouldn't just sit there and wait to die. He'd be fucking done.
no,
Yeah.
I've seen examples.
When's the last
of
time you got nailed in the
stigmata
fucking
with,
head?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's fucking rap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he arose the next day. Apparently, I don't know.
That's what
It
I've
wasn't
heard.
the
Or
next
3
day.
days later.
Yeah, 3 days
Oh,
later.
3 days
He took
later,
a
I'm
3-day
sorry.
vacation.
Was
3-day
Yeah.
weekend.
crucified, died, and was buried.
I think he deserved it. He deserved a little break.
Yeah, you get tired.
He'd been through some shit.
Being Jesus.
you know?
That's why people get like angry and they're like, Jesus. They're tired.
Exactly.
Guess I'm always tired.
I could crucify you. Give you 3-day vacation.
Want to try it?
No.
Well, I mean,
I don't see
No takers?
why not.
I mean,
Then I'll just go see what are those things you call them? Those people that can put a healing potion on me. I'll be done.
Yeah,
Like,
the féticheur. No
yeah,
problem.
that word. Yep.
Yep.
and or witch doctor or whatever.
That was a word? That was like 4 words.
The word they use is féticheur. The closest translation is somewhere between a witch doctor and a shaman.
What-
Okay.
Do they have like? Do they have shops and stuff?
Do they have shops? I mean, maybe. I didn't see a shop.
Or
Yeah,
are
like,
they just
where's the-
regular everyday people?
Yeah, where's the witch doctor come from? Did you or you didn't go? Did the guy at
I
the
didn't
time,
go. Yeah, I didn't get to see him. He
Fuck.
was kind of out in the woods, but I did see one later.
Yes, okay, that makes more sense. Out in the woods, comes out of a hut. He has like some type of
Yeah.
giant walking stick with like
It's a caseron, so
shrunken
it's like a
heads on
little.
it. This dude's badass.
No. It's not like that. It's just your ordinary sort of hut, right? But they have a lot of like herbs and spices and like healing herbs and things like that, and then these kind of fetish objects that are like representative of people and spells and broken curses and protections and things like that.
I bet you. I wonder if he can heal corona. That's who you should contact.
That's who you should get in touch with. Really,
They have no corona there. That guy's like, I've seen this shit before.
there you go. There you go.
I've seen this shit before.
He crushes up 3 leaves, like, drink that. And that's it.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
in
Ebola not
theory-
successful, but the
right.
coronavirus.
Still have the Ebola. Mosquitoes are still a threat and everything, but whatever. But
Yeah, man, I got malaria, by the way, twice.
no,
So
Twice.
even with your
Sounds good times, yeah.
anti-malaria shit.
I
You
know
gave it
I
to
was
her.
on the anti-malaria shit, and I still got fucking malaria. That's how many fucking mosquitoes there were in the jungle.
Those damn witch doctors don't even know which way to direct their.
Exactly. And
Well, maybe it's like population
malaria's-
control. They're like, listen, you
malaria's pretty
can
messed up.
like heal other shit, but like not this. We're known for
Yeah.
this.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it just
Let's
goes
keep our
to
Well, they can
reputation.
only see. This is the thing. They give you protection against mystical attacks. That's their jam. So if somebody's trying to, put a curse on you, somebody's trying to send bad energy your way, put bad juju on you, like they protect you from that. That's their whole jam. Biological stuff, not as much.
Yeah. See, I got a Jamaican at work, and he's super into that stuff too. Believes into it. His grandma, he says, there's like crazy shit, and like sometimes he has one of his grandmas he doesn't even talk to because she does like bad stuff. I said, okay.
Yeah.
He's like super
That's the
into
thing.
it.
It's like you actually meet, like dark witches. Who are like,
Yeah, that's what he
this is what I
says.
do.
He said-
This is my jam.
He said like he's been
I
there.
put spells on people. Like,
Yeah, they like sacrifice chickens and shit. He's like, I gotta go.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, did you eat it?
I did have to sacrifice a chicken once. That was rough.
wow.
Yeah.
For what?
And I was a
To eat?
vegetarian. So no, for protection.
That was
for
like part of his
protection
rules.
spell.
He's like, take this pill. Oh, kill that chicken.
Yeah, it was really weird because like everybody else, he killed the chicken for them. He takes one look at me and he's like, no, you have to do this yourself. I'm like,
He is fucking
are
with you.
fucking
You're
with
in
me?
too deep. You gotta
Yeah.
kill the
It's
chicken.
like, I saw you on
You gotta do
TV.
this. Exactly. He's like, you girl, you got to kill this yourself or it's not going to work. I'm like, God damn it.
Did you feel something inside? I mean, other than grief for the chicken, but did you feel like anything different afterwards?
I mean, I felt relief, I guess, but it's probably pretty psychological. Like,
Well, that's what I was
there's a
going
lot
to
of
say. Is it
adrenaline
more
and-
like psychological? Is it more like, because the mind is just everything.
the mind and body are extremely connected. And so
Right.
it's really hard to parse those things, I think.
The viewers are going to want to know, all three of them, or one of them, or zero, whatever. How did you kill the chicken?
With a very rusty knife.
Oh, that's even worse.
Why is it
Oh, it's terrible. It was just really dull and like old, and it'd been
You're like, can I
it
use
had
a sharp
sacrificed
one?
a lot
no,
of
no,
chicken.
no.
Use
Well,
This
I
is the
should've done it.
sacrificing
It was
knife.
just- It was just really covered in blood, so it was very hard to see.
So they had like a sacrificing knife. Like, I'll take the sharp one. Like, no,
Yeah.
fuck that. This
No,
one
use
has
this.
like 1,000 bodies on it.
Yeah.
1,000 chicken
and
bodies.
what they do is so you cut the throat and then they throw the chicken up in the air and it does this weird sort of spiral cartwheel where the blood just goes like spattering around, and I guess it's the blood spatter that they read afterwards to
You
say
said
like,
that-
will this work or not?
Oh, we're going to Africa. I'm being a witch doctor. Oh, the blood over here says you're fucking done. Sorry.
It does a weird cartwheel. Just can't
Yeah.
even imagine this shit. I am never going to Africa.
No, I skipped the cartwheel.
Well-
I went to the part that they learned how to read the blood.
Yeah.
Splatter,
Well, let me
the
tell
blood
you,
Splatter.
I went out of my way to find these people. Okay. Like this is not the normal tourist experience in Africa. Most people, they see some beautiful waterfalls, they eat some delicious tropical fruits. They have a wonderful time. The people that I met for the most part were absolutely warm and wonderful human beings. Like I said, would just absolutely sacrifice everything for strangers. They have, for example, I'll tell you, this is a really common thing. After dinner, what they do is they keep a little bit of dinner. Even if you're really hungry, they keep a little bit of dinner aside and they cover it just in case somebody shows up in the middle of the night hungry. That is African culture for you. So I don't want to paint African culture as this like barbaric, horrible place. Like I said, there are good people and there are bad people everywhere you go. And there are wonderful things about West African culture. Absolutely. I had, for the most part, a really wonderful experience there. I just had some very strange experiences as well.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But back to your friend who doesn't speak to his grandmother because he does crazy things. She does crazy things.
Right?
Like, wouldn't you want to
What
be
kind
on
of
her
crazy
good
thing?
side? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
keep your enemies closer kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how it pans out. We should call him.
Yeah. Get him on here.
I'm gonna have to ask him tomorrow now.
Okay.
I'll report back to everybody involved. Well, this conversation has gone interesting directions.
I like it.
It's gone around the world.
Yeah, it's literally gone around the world. But why don't you tell everybody out there where they can find you?
Absolutely. So I have a website. It is www.that'sallowed, spelled ALOUD.com. That's where you can find out about my storytelling services and my podcast. You can also just look up That's Allowed on all the podcast places, and you can find me there. And you can find the book on Amazon, and it's called Melting Ivory.
Awesome. And every now and then, we ask a guest to ask any random question you want. I'm not guaranteeing it gets answered, but throw something out there. And let's see if we get you an answer.
What's the most unexplainable thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh, I like that.
I like that too.
That's deep.
Yeah, I need some comments on that.
I'm going to use that for my next guest. Thank you. And if you're looking a way to support this show, you can go to patreon.com/thebeerlatteshow. And as always, you guys can find us at thebeerlatteshow.com and the Beer Latte Show on Instagram and Facebook, and Beer Latte on Twitter. We'll see you guys next week.
This drip all on my body, soaking wet the sunny. Looking like a